5 foods have become poisonous when reheated. You open the fridge, and there it is. Last night's dinner, just waiting to become today's quick and easy lunch. It's a ritual most of us perform without a second thought. But what if that simple act of reheating leftovers could, if you're not careful, turn into a health nightmare? What if some of the most common foods in your fridge have a hidden dark side, a potential to become genuinely harmful when you heat them up for a second time? It might sound like a scare tactic, but there's some real science here. The issue isn't always the reheating itself, but often what happens before you reheat. It has a perfect storm of chemistry and biology that can occur in certain foods when they recooked, cooled improperly, and then heated again. These conditions can allow harmful bacteria to multiply and, in some cases, produce dangerous toxins. It all comes down to a concept that food safety professionals call the temperature danger zone. This is the temperature range between 40 and 140 degrees Fahrenheit, or about 4 to 60 degrees Celsius, where bacteria grow fat. When leftovers sit in this zone for too long, say, on your kitchen counter, as they cool it becomes a playground for bacteria. Some of these just spoiled food, but others are more sinister. They're pathogens that don't change the taste or smell of your food, but they can make you incredibly sick. What's really wild is that some of these bacteria produce toxins that are heat. This means that no matter how much you blast those leftovers in the microwave, the toxins can remain. The problem is already baked in, and you're about to serve it for lunch. Today, we're pulling back the curtain on 5 common offenders. We'll break down the science, reveal the real risks, and give you the knowledge to protect yourself. One of these will probably surprise you, so stick around as we count down 5 foods that can pose a risk when reheated. Let's start with one of the most common leftovers in the world: rice. Whether it's from last night's takeout or a big batch of meal prep, leftover rice is a global staple. It seems harmless, but this humble grain hides a secret. One with a name straight out of a food safety horror story: fried rice syndrome. The problem isn't the rice, but an uninvited guest called Bacillus cereus. This bacterium is found in soil and can be present on raw rice. What makes Bacillus cereus so tricky is that it forms spores, tiny armored versions of itself that are incredibly heat resistant and can survive the initial cooking process. So, you've cooked your rice, killing most active bacteria, but the spores are just lying dormant. The danger starts after cooking. If you leave the pot of rice on the counter to cool for a few hours, it's sitting right in that temperature danger zone. The spores sense these ideal conditions and begin to wake up, multiply, and produce toxins. Bacillus cereus can create 2 types of toxins, one that causes diarrhea and another that causes The vomiting type toxin is famously heat stable. This is the punchline of fried rice syndrome. Once that toxin is in the rice, no amount of reheating will destroy it. Consuming it can lead to a nasty bout of food poisoning with symptoms like nausea and vomiting, usually within a few hours. So how do you fight back? The solution is all about speed and temperature. The golden rule is to cool rice as quickly as possible. Don't leave it in a deep pot. Instead, spread it in a thin layer on a baking sheet or move it to shallow containers. This gets it out of the danger zone fast. Get it into the fridge below 40 degrees Fahrenheit, 4 degrees Celsius within about 2 hours. When you're ready to eat, reheat it thoroughly to at least 165 degrees Fahrenheit, 74 graus Celsius to kill any new bacteria. Just remember, this won't eliminate toxins if they've already formed, which is why rapid cooling is the most critical step. And for best practice, most food safety bodies, including the FDA, advise reheating leftovers only once to minimize risk. Chicken next up is the king of leftover proteins. Chicken? A quick spin in the microwave seems like the obvious move, but doing it wrong could set you up for a serious illness. The main concern with reheating chicken is well-known bacteria like Salmonella and Campylobacter. While cooking chicken to an internal temperature of 165 degrees Fahrenheit, 74 graus Celsius, kills these bacteria, the danger can resurface during reheating. The number one enemy here is uneven heating, and the microwave is a frequent offender. Microwaves can struggle to heat dense food evenly, creating cold spots where bacteria can survive and multiply. A bite might feel hot on the outside, but the inside could still be a breeding ground for a stomach bug. There's also a quality issue. When you reheat chicken, especially in a microwave, the protein structures change again. This can create that tough, rubbery texture we all know and hate. While it's not poisonous, it sure makes for a sad lunch. The main health risk remains bacterial. So, what's the safest way to handle leftover chicken? First, proper storage is key. Get it in the fridge within 2 hours of cooking. When reheating, methods that provide even heat, like an oven or a stovetop pan, are your best bet. But if you do use a microwave, make sure to cover the food and rotate or stir it to ensure it heats all the way through. No matter the method, A food thermometer is your best friend. The only way to be certain your chicken is safe is to check that its internal temperature has reached 165 degrees Fahrenheit, 74 graus Celsius, all the way through. And just like rice, it's best to stick to a 1 reheat rule. If that sounds like too much trouble, just eat it cold. Sliced chicken is perfect for salads and sandwiches. No reheating risk involved. We're halfway through, and if you're learning something that could keep you and your family safe, do us a favor and hit that like button. It really helps the channel, and if you want more food safety tips and health info, don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss an update. Now, back to the list. Potatoes, our third food, is the ultimate comfort carb. The potato, but leftover spuds, particularly baked potatoes, can harbor a rare but terrifying danger. And no, it's not what you think. You may have heard reheating potatoes is dangerous because of solanine, a natural toxin in nuts. This is a common myth. Solanine is found in green or sprouted parts of potatoes and is related to storage before cooking, not reheating. The real, though uncommon, danger with leftover potatoes is Clostridium, the bacterium that causes botulism, a severe illness that can attack the nervous system. These bacterial spores are in the soil and can be on the potato's skin. The problem starts when the spores find their perfect environment, low oxygen and moist, at room temperature. Now, picture a baked potato wrapped tightly in aluminum foil. The foil traps moisture and creates an oxygen-free zone right against the skin. If you leave that foil-wrapped potato on the counter for hours, any botulinum spores can germinate and produce their toxin. Unlike some toxins, the botulinum toxin is heat-labile, meaning it can be destroyed by high heat, like boiling for several minutes. However, a quick, uneven zap in the microwave might not be enough to neutralize it. While botulism from potatoes is rare, it's not unheard of. A 1994 outbreak in Texas sickened 30 people from a dip made with baked potatoes that had been left at room temperature while still in their foil wrappers. Protecting yourself is simple. If you bake potatoes in foil, remove it immediately after cooking, before letting them cool. Never put a hot, foil-wrapped potato directly in the fridge, as it will still cool slowly through the danger zone. Like all leftovers, potatoes should be refrigerated promptly, within 2 hours. When you reheat, make sure they get to 165 degrees Fahrenheit, 74 graus Celsius, to kill other bacteria.
Spinach and other leafy greens. This next one is surprising because we think of it as a superfood, spinach, along with other leafy greens like beet. But reheating dishes with these veggies can trigger a chemical conversion that has raised some concerns. The issue revolves around compounds called nitrates, which leafy greens absorb from the soil. Nitrates themselves are generally harmless, but bacteria can convert them into nitrites, especially when food is cooked, stored, and then reheated. Why are nitrites a concern? The main reason is a specific danger to infants under 6 months. High levels of nitrites can interfere with a baby's blood's ability to carry oxygen, a condition called methemoglobinemia or blue baby syndrome. Because of this, it's advised to be cautious when giving reheated high-nitrate vegetables to very young babies. The second concern is that nitrites can, in the body, potentially form nitrosamines, some of which are considered carcinogenic. This is the source of scary headlines you may have seen. But let's add some crucial context. Food safety authorities like the European Food Safety Authority (EFSA) have clarified that for adults, the risk from the tiny amount of nitrosamines formed by reheating spinach is extremely low and not a significant health concern. In fact, the massive nutritional benefits of eating vegetables like spinach are believed to far outweigh this minimal theoretical risk. So, the poisonous label is a huge exaggeration for most people. The real documented danger is mainly for infants. To be extra cautious, you can try to cook only the amount of leafy greens you'll eat in one sitting. If you do have leftovers, cool them quickly. Many experts now agree that as long as it's been stored properly, reheating spinach is fine for adults. Mushrooms. Last on our list is a food beloved for its savory flavor, mushrooms. They're fantastic, but their delicate structure makes them tricky as leftovers. The main issue with reheating mushrooms is less about a specific toxin and more about Mushrooms have a high protein content, and these proteins can be broken down quickly by enzymes and microorganisms once cooked. If cooked mushrooms aren't cooled and stored properly, this degradation can speed up. It's not classic food poisoning from a specific pathogen, but more of a general decay that can lead to an upset stomach and digestive issues when you eat them later. The reheating itself doesn't create a problem, but it can't fix spoilage that's already happened. Old household rules used to warn against reheating mushrooms at all, but this advice originated from a time before modern refrigeration. Today, the guidance is more practical. The European Food Information Council advises cooling leftover mushrooms as quickly as possible and storing them in the fridge, while some sources suggest eating them within 24 hours to be extra safe. Most general leftover rules apply. When you reheat them, make sure they reach a high temperature of at least 165 degrees Fahrenheit, 74 graus Celsius, to kill off any potential bacteria. But honestly, the best way to enjoy mushrooms is fresh. Their delicate nature just doesn't always lend itself well to being leftovers. So, from rice and chicken to potatoes and mushrooms, each food has its own unique considerations. But the goal here isn't to make you afraid of your leftovers. It's to empower you with knowledge. As we've seen, the true villain in most of these stories isn't reheating. It's what happens before you reheat. Improper cooling and storage, the temperature danger zone, is the real enemy. You don't need a degree in microbiology to keep your food safe. You just need to remember 3 simple but powerful rules. Let's call them the golden rules of leftovers. First is the 2-hour rule. Never let cooked food sit at room temperature for more than 2 hours. If it's a hot day over 90 degrees Fahrenheit, that window shrinks to just 1 hour. Get food into the fridge fast. Second is the 4-day rule. Most leftovers are safe in the fridge for about 3 to 4 days. After that, the risk goes up. When in doubt, throw it out. And third is the 165-degree rule. When you reheat, make sure leftovers reach an internal temperature of 165 degrees Fahrenheit, 74 graus Celsius. This kills most harmful bacteria. Don't guess, use a food thermometer. By following these rules, you take control. You turn leftovers from a potential health risk into what they should be: a convenient, delicious, and safe meal. So now we want to hear from you. Which of these foods surprised you the most? Is there another food you're suspicious of reheating? Share your thoughts in the comments below. If you found this information valuable, please give this video a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe. Stay safe, eat smart, and we'll see you next time.